In today's video, we will explore a fascinating topic: the 10 countries impossible to invade. Since ancient times, humanity has always been involved in wars and conquests, seeking to expand territories and exercise supremacy. However, nowadays, invading a country is not as simple as crossing its land borders. To understand better, we need to consider that a successful invasion requires much more than just military strength. It is necessary to subjugate the population and destroy their will to fight. In the modern world, various factors make this task even more complex. Population growth, technological advances in defenses, international treaties, and military alliances that can turn a local conflict into a global crisis. Some countries have managed, throughout history, to develop incredible immunity against invasions. These countries not only resisted invasion attempts in the past, but are also exceptionally well prepared to keep any enemy at bay today. In this video, we will not consider the use of nuclear weapons, but rather a conventional military invasion, observing military, political, geographical, economic, cultural, and even climatic aspects. In this video, you will discover the secrets behind the 10 nations that are impossible to invade. We will analyze how each of these countries achieved this feat and understand the elements that make them so formidable. The ending may surprise you. Australia. Let's start with Australia. When we talk about a possible invasion of Australian territory, several factors play in favor of this country. First, its geography plays a crucial role. Australia is an island nation, surrounded by vast oceans that serve as a first line of natural defense. Additionally, approximately 70% of Australia's territory is covered by an arid and relentless desert. Imagine an enemy trying to cross thousands of kilometers of land without water, under extreme temperatures, and facing hostile flora and fauna. Any army that does not have abundant resources to sustain its troops for months or even years would be quickly doomed. The closest potential enemy, Japan, is about 11,000 kilometers away. This immense separation makes any invasion attempt extremely difficult. But even if an enemy army managed to overcome these natural barriers and survive dehydration, exhaustion, and the threats of the territory, it would still face the formidable strength of the Australian armed forces. Australia has one of the world's most robust economies, which allows the country to invest heavily in its defense. The Australian armed forces are well-equipped, well-armed, and highly trained. During World War II, the Japanese seriously considered invading Australia. However, given the logistical complications and the formidable expected resistance, they decided not to proceed. At that time, it was estimated that it would take about 200,000 well-armed and equipped soldiers to take the island nation. Even if they had managed to capture the coastal cities, the Australians would be ready to wage a long guerrilla war from hideouts spread across the country's vast interior. Today, the situation is no different. The combination of natural barriers, a strong economy, and a competent military force makes Australia one of the hardest countries to invade in the world. Canada. Now let's talk about Canada. This vast country is known for its stunning landscapes and being one of the most peaceful places in the world. However, this peacefulness should not be confused with vulnerability. First, Canada is the second largest country in the world by area. This territorial immensity alone represents a colossal challenge for any invading army. Canada's geography includes extensive areas of dense forests, imposing mountains, and a significant amount of arid and icy lands. The extreme climate is another critical factor. During winter, temperatures can drop to -30 or even -40 degrees Celsius. These extreme conditions would be devastating for unaccustomed troops, who would need monumental logistical preparation just to survive, let alone fight. The only practical way to invade Canada would be through the United States. However, historically, Canada and the United States have been close allies and, in fact, inseparable friends. This relationship makes any invasion attempt through the US highly unlikely, if not impossible. Additionally, the US has the most powerful armed forces in the world, which basically guarantees Canada a formidable bodyguard. But even without American help, Canada has impressive defensive capabilities of its own. The Canadian Armed Forces are well trained and equipped with cutting-edge technology. With a defense budget of around $26 billion, Canada is well prepared for a prolonged war. The country is also self-sufficient in many critical resources, including oil, ensuring the continuity of its military operations in times of crisis. Moreover, Canada maintains a considerable stockpile of modern weapons and has a defense industry that can quickly produce the necessary equipment. From combat aircraft to advanced missiles, Canada has the means to defend its vast territory effectively. With its vast territory, extreme climatic conditions, proximity and alliance with the United States, and a competent military force, Canada positions itself as one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. Switzerland. Now let's go to the heart of Europe to talk about Switzerland. Known worldwide for its chocolates, watches, and of course its famous neutrality, Switzerland is a unique example of a country that has managed to avoid major international conflicts for centuries. Swiss neutrality is more than a policy, it is a deeply rooted tradition. Since the Congress of Vienna in 1815, Switzerland has remained neutral, even during the two world wars. This neutral position is internationally respected and is one of the factors that discourage invasions. Geographically, Switzerland is a true stronghold. The country is filled with mountains and valleys, making any military operation extremely difficult. During World War II, Switzerland developed a defensive plan called the National Redoubt. This plan involved the construction of a series of fortresses and bastions in strategic mountain locations, ready to withstand any invasion. Moreover, Switzerland has a defense policy that involves the entire population. All Swiss men are required to perform military service, and after completion, they keep their weapons and training ready to defend the country if necessary. This means that Switzerland can quickly mobilize a large civil defense force. Currently, Switzerland has a relatively small army in terms of active numbers, about 150,000 soldiers. However, the country can call up more than 1 million reservists in case of emergency. With a military budget of approximately $9 billion, Switzerland invests considerably in defense technology and armaments. Another important factor is Switzerland's economic and political stability. The country is home to many global financial institutions and international organizations. This economic position makes any potential conflict even more complex, as many of the world's largest economic powers have an interest in keeping Switzerland stable and secure. The combination of historical neutrality, defensive geography, comprehensive military preparation, and economic stability makes Switzerland a true bastion against invasions. Even the most determined invaders would think twice before attempting to conquer this alpine country. India. Next, we go to India, a country with a unique combination of natural barriers and military strength. India is a true Asian giant, both in terms of population and territory, and presents formidable challenges for any potential invader. One of India's greatest natural defenses is the Himalayas, the world's largest mountain range, which stretches along the northern and northeastern borders of the country. These mountains form an almost insurmountable barrier, making any land invasion extremely difficult. The dizzying heights and extreme climatic conditions make military operations practically unfeasible in this region. In addition to natural barriers, India has a powerful navy, equipped with a fleet of submarines and warships that patrol its vast coastal waters. This robust naval presence is a crucial line of defense against maritime invasions. Historically, India has consistently invested in the modernization and expansion of its naval capabilities to deter threats from the sea. The Indian Army is one of the largest in the world, with over 1.4 million active soldiers and a large reserve force. India also has a developed defense industry capable of producing most of its own military equipment, from armored vehicles to aircraft and heavy armament. This self-sufficiency is a significant strategic advantage. India also has a formidable air force, equipped with modern combat aircraft and advanced air defense systems. These air resources are vital for protecting Indian airspace against attacks and providing air support to ground forces. India's geopolitical location places it in a constant state of vigilance. The country has a history of conflicts with its neighbors, China and Pakistan, and continues to maintain a robust defensive posture against any external threats. Since gaining independence in 1947, India has faced several wars and regional conflicts, but has always managed to defend its territory. In addition to the armed forces, the Indian population is a critical factor. With over 1.4 billion people, India has a vast reservoir of manpower and a patriotic fervor that manifests in times of crisis. The country's rich culture and history contribute to a strong sense of identity and national unity, which is crucial in any defense effort. With its challenging geography, considerable military strength, and dedicated population, India firmly establishes itself as one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. North Korea. Now, let's focus on North Korea, a country that frequently makes headlines due to its aggressive foreign policy and closed regime. However, North Korea is also notorious for being one of the most difficult countries to invade, and there are several reasons for this. Firstly, the size of the North Korean armed forces is impressive. The country has approximately 1.3 million active soldiers, making it one of the largest military forces in the world. Additionally, there are about 4.5 million reservists who can be quickly mobilized. This vast number of troops ensures that any invasion will be met with massive resistance. North Korea also has an extensive and complex network of fortifications along the Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, which separates the country from South Korea. This area is one of the most militarized regions in the world, with thousands of guard posts, underground bunkers, minefields, and heavy artillery. Any invading force would have to overcome these formidable defenses before even entering North Korean territory. Another crucial factor is North Korea's alliance with China. Historically, China has supported North Korea in times of conflict, and this close relationship serves as a powerful deterrent to any invasion attempt. The presence of such a formidable bodyguard makes the prospect of invading North Korea even more complex and risky. In addition to military defenses, the North Korean population is extremely loyal to the regime. From a young age, citizens are educated to idolize their leader and be ready to defend their homeland at any cost. Patriotism is intensely inculcated, and military service is mandatory, ensuring a population always ready for war. Geography also plays a significant role. North Korea's mountainous terrain offers many opportunities for natural defenses and guerrilla warfare. Moreover, the climate can be extremely harsh, with cold winters that can challenge any invading force. North Korea has also heavily invested in its ballistic missile program and nuclear capabilities. Although the use of nuclear weapons is an extreme and undesirable scenario, the mere presence of these weapons serves as a powerful deterrent against invasions. Finally, North Korea's economic and political isolation makes it less vulnerable to blockades and sanctions that could be used to weaken other countries before an invasion. The regime is accustomed to operating under severe restrictions and has been preparing for self-sufficiency in many aspects. With its enormous armed forces, well-established defenses, international support, and intensely loyal population, North Korea is undoubtedly one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. United Kingdom. Let's now cross the globe to Western Europe and discuss why the United Kingdom is one of the most difficult countries to invade. The United Kingdom, composed of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, has a unique combination of geographical, historical, and military factors that make any invasion attempt extremely challenging. Firstly, the United Kingdom is an island, which already creates a significant natural barrier against invaders. The English Channel, which separates the UK from continental Europe, is one of the primary lines of defense. During World War II, Nazi Germany faced enormous difficulties trying to cross this channel, known for its treacherous waters and strong currents. Additionally, the United Kingdom has a series of well-established coastal defenses. The steep cliffs of Dover, for example, serve as a formidable natural defense line. Any invading force would have to face these natural barriers before reaching the British mainland, which would be an extremely difficult and risky task. The United Kingdom also has one of the most well-trained and equipped armed forces in the world. With an annual defense budget of over $62 billion, the country invests heavily in advanced military technology and maintaining a ready and effective combat force. The Royal Navy, in particular, is one of the most powerful navies in the world, with a modern fleet capable of protecting British territorial waters. Historically, the United Kingdom has demonstrated an impressive capacity for resistance and adaptation in the face of invasion. Since the last successful invasion in 1066, during the Norman conquest, the country has resisted several invasion attempts, including the Spanish Armada and the German Luftwaffe during World War II. These experiences have shaped a culture of military preparedness and resilience. In addition to military defenses, the United Kingdom is an important member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. This military alliance ensures that in the event of an invasion, the UK would receive immediate support from some of the world's largest military powers, including the United States, France, and Germany. This network of alliances serves as a powerful deterrent against any aggression. Another point to consider is the UK's advanced surveillance and intelligence infrastructure. The country has one of the most sophisticated monitoring systems in the world, allowing it to detect and respond quickly to any threats. This includes a network of radars, satellites, and surveillance systems that keep a constant eye on potential hostile movements. Finally, the UK's culture of resistance also plays a crucial role. The British population has a long history of uniting in times of crisis, demonstrating a spirit of resistance vital for national defense. This resilience is complemented by robust infrastructure that can sustain the country during prolonged conflicts. With its natural defenses, robust military force, international alliances, and resilient population, the United Kingdom firmly positions itself as one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. China. Next, we turn to China, a country that combines vast territory with one of the largest and most powerful military forces in the world. China is undoubtedly one of the most difficult nations to invade, and there are several reasons for this. Firstly, China has an incredibly diverse and challenging geography. The country is surrounded by mountains to the north and west, including the Himalayas, the world's highest mountains. To the south, there are dense tropical forests, and to the north, the Gobi Desert, a vast expanse of arid and inhospitable land. These natural barriers make any land invasion extremely difficult. In addition to geographical defenses, China has invested heavily in modernizing and expanding its armed forces. The People's Liberation Army, PLA, is the largest army in the world in terms of troop numbers, with over 2 million active soldiers. This vast army is complemented by reserve and paramilitary forces, totaling over 7 million people who can be mobilized in times of war. China also has a formidable air force and navy. The People's Liberation Army Air Force is one of the largest in the world, equipped with modern aircraft and advanced air defense systems. The Chinese Navy, in turn, has rapidly grown in size and capability, including aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines, and a fleet of state-of-the-art warships. This allows China to protect its extensive coasts and project military power in its territorial waters and beyond. Another crucial factor is China's defense infrastructure. The country has a comprehensive network of military bases, fortifications, and missile defense systems covering the entire territory. These defenses are constantly updated with the latest military technologies, making any invasion a monumental task. China's economy also plays a vital role in the country's defensive capabilities. With the second-largest economy in the world, China has the financial resources to sustain a prolonged war. Self-sufficiency in many critical resources, including food and energy, ensures that the country can continue operating efficiently even under blockades or sanctions. Politically, China is governed by a centralized and authoritarian regime that can quickly mobilize national resources in response to any threat. This system allows effective coordination of military and civilian forces, further strengthening the country's defensive capabilities. China's population, with over 1.4 billion people, is also an important factor. In times of crisis, this vast population can be mobilized to support defense efforts. Patriotism and a sense of national duty are strongly inculcated from childhood, resulting in a population ready to defend their homeland. Additionally, China has engaged in a series of strategic alliances and partnerships that enhance its security. The close relationship with Russia, for example, provides an additional level of deterrence against any external aggression. With its natural geographical barriers, colossal military force, powerful economy, and loyal and patriotic population, China establishes itself as one of the most difficult nations to invade in the world, Japan. Let's now cross the East China Sea to talk about Japan, a country whose combination of geographical, historical, and military factors makes it extremely difficult to invade. Although Japan is an island nation with a relatively small territorial area, its defensive capability is impressive. Firstly, Japan's geography offers a series of natural defenses. The country is composed of an archipelago of mountainous islands, which means that any invading force would face significant logistical challenges just to reach the Japanese shores. The waters around Japan are notoriously rough, with strong currents and unpredictable weather conditions, making amphibious operations extremely difficult. Moreover, Japan's history is marked by a tradition of tenacious defense. During World War II, the United States had to resort to the use of atomic bombs to force Japan's surrender, a demonstration of the determination and resistance capability of the Japanese. Even before that, Japan was never completely conquered by foreign forces, successfully resisting several invasion attempts over the centuries. Currently, Japan has one of the most technologically advanced armed forces in the world. The Japan Self-Defense Forces, JSDF, are well-trained and equipped with cutting-edge technology. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, in particular, is one of the most powerful in the world, with a fleet of modern destroyers, submarines, and helicopter carriers. This naval capability is crucial for the defense of the Japanese islands and for projecting power in the Pacific. Japan also maintains a close military alliance with the United States. This alliance is formalized through the Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security, which ensures that any attack on Japan would be met with military support from the U.S. Moreover, there are several American military bases on Japanese territory, providing a constant presence of U.S. troops and equipment. The Japan Air Self-Defense Force is also highly advanced, with a fleet of modern aircraft and air defense systems capable of detecting and neutralizing long-range threats. The combination of naval and air power allows Japan to monitor and protect its borders effectively. Another important factor is Japan's economic capacity. With the fourth largest economy in the world, Japan has the financial resources to sustain a prolonged defense and continuously invest in the modernization of its armed forces. This economic robustness is a fundamental pillar of national security. Culturally, Japan has a highly cohesive and disciplined society. The spirit of solidarity and a sense of duty are strong among the Japanese, who are prepared to mobilize in defense of their nation. This social unity is a vital component of national resistance. Japan has also significantly invested in surveillance technology and cyber defense. Advanced radar systems, monitoring satellites, and robust cyber defenses ensure that any invasion attempt is detected and neutralized quickly. With its natural defenses, advanced military force, strategic alliances, and a united and resilient population, Japan firmly positions itself as one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. Russia. Now, let's move to the vast territory of Russia, a country whose combination of geography, extreme climate, and military power makes it one of the most difficult nations to invade in the world. Russia is the largest country on the planet, occupying almost 1/8 of the Earth's surface. This territorial immensity alone presents a monumental challenge for any invading force. The vast stretches of land mean that invaders would need to traverse enormous distances, facing complex logistics and a continuous supply of resources. One of Russia's most powerful natural defenses is its harsh climate. Russian winters are notoriously brutal, with temperatures that can drop below -30 degrees Celsius in many regions. This severe climate has already played a crucial role in defeating historical invaders. Napoleon Bonaparte in 1812 and Adolf Hitler in 1941 underestimated the Russian winter, resulting in military disasters for their forces. The combination of extreme cold, deep snow, and cut-off supplies proved fatal for both armies. In addition to the climate, Russian geography is filled with dense forests, mountains, and vast steppes. These varied terrains offer numerous opportunities for ambushes, guerrilla warfare, and other defensive tactics that can wear down an invader over time. Russia also has a vast network of rivers, lakes, and swamps that can further hinder the enemy's advance. Militarily, Russia has one of the most powerful armed forces in the world. The Russian army is large, well-trained, and equipped with advanced technology. Russia has the largest fleet of tanks in the world and a formidable arsenal of heavy artillery, which it uses daily against Ukraine, a country it invaded and has been at war with since 2022. Additionally, the Russian Air Force is highly capable, with a large fleet of fighters, bombers, and attack helicopters. Russia also possesses an impressive arsenal of nuclear weapons, the largest in the world, which serves as a powerful deterrent against any invasion attempt. Although the use of nuclear weapons is an extreme scenario, the mere presence of these weapons and Russia's deterrence policy ensure that any aggressor thinks twice before considering an attack. Russia's defense infrastructure includes a network of military bases, bunkers, and air defense systems spread across the country. The S-400 air defense system, for example, is one of the most advanced in the world, capable of intercepting enemy aircraft and missiles at long distances. Politically, Russia is governed by a centralized and authoritarian regime that can quickly mobilize national resources in response to any threat. The Russian leadership has shown an impressive ability to make quick and effective decisions in crisis situations, further strengthening national defense. The Russian population, with over 140 million people, is also an important factor. In times of crisis, this vast population can be mobilized to support defense efforts. Patriotism and national pride are strong among Russians who are prepared to defend their homeland at any cost. Additionally, Russia has strategic allies and partnerships that enhance its security. Proximity to China and other former Soviet Union nations provides an additional support network in case of conflict. With its vast territorial extent, extreme climate, formidable military power, and resilient and patriotic population, Russia is undoubtedly one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. United States. Let's now cross the Atlantic to talk about the United States, a global superpower whose combination of military power, geography, and gun culture makes this country practically impossible to invade. Firstly, the United States has a geography that offers significant natural defenses. The country is flanked by the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, creating vast water barriers that make any amphibious invasion attempt difficult. Additionally, the internal terrain of the U.S. is varied and challenging, with mountains, deserts, dense forests, and large plains. Militarily, the United States has the largest defense budget in the world, spending more than $831 billion annually. This colossal funding allows the U.S. Armed Forces to maintain an unparalleled military infrastructure, including thousands of tanks, combat aircraft, warships, and nuclear submarines. The U.S. Navy, in particular, is the most powerful in the world, with a global power projection capability through its aircraft carrier strike groups. The United States Air Force is also unmatched, with a fleet of advanced aircraft ensuring air superiority in any theater of operations. Additionally, the country has a network of military bases around the world, ensuring a strategic presence in various regions. Another crucial factor is the U.S.'s robust defense infrastructure. The country has advanced missile defense systems, such as the THAAD system and the Aegis defense system, capable of intercepting enemy ballistic missiles. The U.S. satellite and radar network also provides constant surveillance, detecting any hostile movement in advance. The American population is another significant element. The United States has one of the largest gun cultures in the world, with more than 400 million firearms in civilian hands. This fact creates a population that can quickly mobilize in defense of the country. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees the right to bear arms, and many Americans are avid shooters, ready to defend their homeland. In addition to physical defenses, the United States has strategic alliances that strengthen its position. As a founding member of NATO, the U.S. can count on the support of some of the world's largest military powers in case of invasion. This network of allies serves as a powerful deterrent against any potential aggressor. The American economy, the largest in the world, is also a pillar of national defense. With vast financial resources, the United States can sustain a prolonged war and continuously invest in the modernization of its armed forces. The country's industrial production capacity ensures that any necessary military equipment can be produced quickly on a large scale. American culture and patriotism are also vital. In times of crisis, the American population has shown a remarkable ability to unite and support national defense efforts. This spirit of resilience and determination is a crucial component of the United States' defensive capability. With its natural defenses, unparalleled military power, armed and patriotic population, and strategic alliances, the United States firmly positions itself as one of the most difficult countries to invade in the world. Bonus: Brazil. To conclude, let's add a bonus section and talk about Brazil, a country that, although not mentioned initially, has its own unique characteristics that make it a difficult target to invade. Firstly, Brazil is the largest country in South America and the fifth largest in the world in terms of land area. This vast territorial expanse is a significant natural defense. In addition to the Amazon rainforest, Brazil has long mountain ranges that form natural obstacles against invaders. The extensive plains and Cerrado areas also present logistical challenges for any foreign military force. Brazil's coastline, stretching over 4,600 miles, is also a formidable barrier. The beaches, bays, and islands along the coast make amphibious operations complex and risky. Militarily, Brazil has the most powerful armed forces in Latin America and ranks 12th among the world's most powerful armed forces. The Brazilian army is numerous and well-trained, with experience in operations in varied terrains, from jungles to urban areas. The Brazilian Air Force is modern and well-equipped, capable of effectively defending national airspace. The Brazilian Navy, responsible for patrolling the extensive coastline, has a helicopter carrier and is building new frigates for its fleet, as well as a nuclear-powered submarine, which will greatly increase its power projection capability. Another important factor is the Brazilian population. With over 210 million inhabitants, Brazil has a large labor force that can be mobilized in times of crisis. Patriotism and solidarity among Brazilians are strong, especially in times of need, which would contribute to effective resistance against any invader. Economically, Brazil is one of the largest economies in the world, with vast natural resources, including oil, minerals, and immense biodiversity. This natural wealth allows the country to sustain its military operations and continue to resist even in a prolonged conflict. Brazil also participates in various alliances and international organizations that strengthen its position. Strategic partnerships with other nations through organizations like BRICS provide an additional level of security and support if needed. Culturally, Brazil is a diverse and resilient country. The ethnic and cultural diversity creates a cohesive society that can unite in defense of the homeland. Furthermore, the historical experience of facing internal and external challenges has shaped a population that is prepared to resist any threat. With its natural defenses, competent military force, robust economy, and resilient population, Brazil, although not mentioned among the countries impossible to invade, certainly presents a formidable challenge to any invading force. Throughout this video, we have seen how geographical, historical, military, and cultural factors play a crucial role in a nation's defense. Each country we discussed, from Australia and Canada to Russia and the United States, has a unique combination of characteristics that make them formidable against any invasion attempt. Geography often provides the first line of defense, with natural barriers such as mountains, deserts, and oceans hindering the progression of invaders. Extreme climates like Russia's harsh winter can also be a powerful ally, capable of deterring even the most well-prepared armies. The history of each country also reveals valuable lessons. Nations like the United Kingdom and Switzerland have shown a remarkable ability to resist invasions over the centuries, adapting their strategies and reinforcing their defenses. Switzerland's strategic neutrality and the UK's network of alliances, for example, highlight the importance of smart political and diplomatic positions. Militarily, we saw that the strength and constant modernization of armed forces are essential. Countries like China, the United States, and India invest heavily in defense technology and maintain robust forces ready to respond to any threat. Air, naval, and land superiority, combined with advanced missile defenses, creates an almost insurmountable barrier for invaders. A country's population is also a critical factor. Loyalty and patriotism, as seen in North Korea and the United States, ensure fierce resistance against any aggression. An armed and prepared population, supported by civil defense policies, can turn every citizen into a potential defender. Economy and resource self-sufficiency are equally vital. Countries with strong economies like Japan and Canada can sustain long conflicts without exhausting their resources. Industrial production capacity and the availability of essential supplies ensure that the armed forces remain operational even in times of crisis. Finally, alliances and international partnerships further strengthen a country's defense. Integration into military blocs like NATO or strategic alliances, like the relationship between China and Russia, provide an additional layer of security. These support networks ensure that an attack on one country results in a collective response from several nations. Defending a country is a multifaceted effort that involves geography, history, military strength, patriotism, economy, and alliances. The complexity of invading any of the nations we discussed is a testament to their robust preparations and strategies. For any invader, the barriers are immense, and the costs incalculable. I hope you found this analysis fascinating. Let me know in the comments what you think are your country's greatest advantages to avoid being invaded. If you enjoyed this video, you will also like the video I'm recommending, which is appearing on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss more videos like this. See you next time.